everyone, welcome back to Food Review Club. I'm on familiar territory here at the Balti Triangle for a very, very special video today. After the last video went live, we had a ton of messages from people thanking us for putting a positive spin on Ladypool Road here in Birmingham, celebrating the wonderful food. Now, I'm meeting up with Andy Munro today, the Balti King, to discover more from a knowledge point of view about this wonderful dish. It's historic, it's British, I can't wait, let's go. Andy, hello.
Hi, Matt.
Thank you for your time, how's it going?
Welcome to the Balti Triangle.
Right then guys, I'm here with the main man himself, Andy Munro. Andy, thank you very much for coming on the page.
Nice one, Matt.
So Andy, you are officially the king of Baltis. Talk to me.
Okay, about the Balti, which is a Brummy thing. Okay?
Right.
Everybody cooks a Balti across the country, but it first started in Birmingham. And I want to tell you a little bit about the real thing.
Yes.
To start the ball rolling, I'm going to present you
I've got my own Balti.
a Birmingham-made Balti Bowl. Okay, and I want to explain to you what it is.
All right. So you're actually the king of Baltis, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And my daughter's one of her businesses is actually manufacturing these Balti bowls, or making these Balti bowls.
Wow.
Now this is the bowl which must be cooked in and served in. To be a proper Balti, it's got to be served as well as cooked in this bowl. And the difference between this bowl and a wok is a few things. The handles are flat, which means a chef can twirl it around at pace when he's got lots of Baltis to cook. Absolutely vital. It's flat bottomed, and it's also got a shape that gives it stability on the stove, which is absolutely vital in a busy kitchen. Even the handles, they're welded on, not riveted, because if they're riveted on in a high heat, they just come loose and just fall off. So all these things make this an authentic Balti bowl.
Incredible.
And in terms of how it all started, this was back in 1975. This area started off being a mainly Irish Brummy area, and a lot of Kashmiris moved into the area, and they opened lots of cafes, glass top tables, unlicensed because they were Muslim owned, and people would go along for a bite to eat, and it would be something very, very local, local Kashmiris. But those restaurant owners thought, how can we get a Western trade as well? How can we satisfy both sets of diners? So this one guy, who actually had a restaurant in this Balti Triangle, sadly now closed because of COVID mainly, thought, how can I do this? And he realised that in Pakistan, in the mountainous areas, it was all about one pot cooking. So he thought, well, one pot cooking, that'd be a good idea, but in Pakistan it'd be on the bone, which of course takes ages to cook. So he thought, how can I actually fuse the two? So what he decided was to get a bowl created, designed. It was made. This wasn't a firm that made them. It's originally made in 1975, which was basically thin pressed steel, which meant it could heat up very, very quickly. Very important.
That's a key design factor.
Yeah, thin pressed.
For that fast cooking.
Absolutely. Very important. And actually, one of the things about this is, if you left this just out, it would rust. So what they do is they treat it with veg oil. And it
like seasoning. Yeah.
Bang on. And so these bowls, when they're sold, have to be seasoned. So you've got it in one. But even better, as they're seasoned, time after time after time, it builds up its own non-stick patina.
Yes.
So it's natural. A lot of people have said that normal non-stick cookware could be cancerous without being a scaremonger. Who knows? But that's a theory. But this is natural non-stick. So you'll see bowls that have been used a lot will actually be black and they'll be non-stick. And that's what. And that layer is a layer of flavours as well. So the more you use a Balti bowl, the more flavoursome the Balti becomes.
Incredible. Now, to the casual viewer, what is the main difference in structure with a regular curry in terms of its makeup and to a Balti? Well, is there many nutritional benefits or?
Okay, that's good. That's a good question. First of all, I'd say in terms of ingredients, that all depends on the chef. Right. The things that go into a Balti, things like turmeric, fenugreek, methi, paprika, all those sorts of things, it's all down to the individual preference of the chef. Okay, so if you go into a supermarket and buy a Balti sauce,
Yes.
I've looked at the ingredients. They're no different really to a jalfrezi sauce. It's a complete scam, okay? So it's about the method of cooking, okay? And when a Balti's cooked, it's cooked in veg oil, not ghee, because that gives it a cleaner taste. But I've had a university, College Birmingham, which is a food university, do a proper analysis of a properly cooked Balti where it's served up in the same dish that it's cooked in. And when you do that, there's 3 times the amount of iron, and you can't overdose on iron. It's the most valuable element to man. You could become like
3 times.
3 times the amount of iron in a proper Balti. It caramelises, which is really a top sort of chef thing to happen. It's called the Maillard effect. It gives it a slightly sweet taste, a barbecue taste almost.
That caramelisation.
That caramelisation. And
really brings the flavours up, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And also the fat content, because it's burned off over a high flame, is less. So overall, you know, it's a very healthy dish and
Brilliant.
very tasty as well.
So how have you found yourself as the Balti King? Do you just love them? Talk to me about where that's come from.
Okay, well, originally I had my first Balti back in the 80s. So
Love at first sight.
Love at first sight. And then I started to go around to different Balti houses. There's a group of lads. We even had Balti ties in horrible bright red.
The boys are out.
Yeah, the boys are out. And so I started to try lots and lots of different places. Did an informal guide. Then was asked by a local paper to do an actual formal one.
Like a reviews?
Reviews. An actual guidebook called Essential Street Balti
What was
Guide.
your scoring system? Out of 10, out of 5?
It was Balti Bowls instead of stars, and it was up to 5.
Oh, right, good.
So, so since then, I've written a book about Balti as well. But to me, I'm born and bred Brummie. I'm passionate about Birmingham. I can't be passionate about our football sides because we're hopeless, okay? Unfortunately. But Birmingham's got a lot going for it, and Balti's one of them. So that's part of the reason. I'm passionate about the taste, passionate about it as a Brummie thing as well.
Good. And you actually are the one that called this the Balti Triangle.
Yeah,
was it called something else before?
Yeah, and just there's a very quick story about that. What happened was I used to, in a voluntary basis, not a work basis, help out what was called the Asian Balti Restaurant Association. And I sat down with the guys and I said, look, it was called the Balti Belt. And I said, it sounds somewhere like the back end of Russia. We don't, this ain't very good.
Soviet curry, curry club.
Exactly.
The Balti Belt.
So we can't have this. So I thought to myself now, Balti Triangle, because it's I'd be sued by a mathematician, but it is slightly triangular shaped.
Yeah. Wow.
And I thought, Balti Triangle, and we use the phrase lost in a sea of spices, like the Bermuda Triangle. That bit never took off.
A few people have been lost in a Balti Bowl in their time, I'm sure.
And so a Balti Triangle took off, and it's been called that ever since. And you know, it's become world famous, I suppose.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, because the reason that we're even here in the first place, and the reason we did the first video, we were looking at a map of Birmingham to see where to go. We actually saw the Balti Triangle on the map, didn't we, Jez? So. You've made it onto the map, Andy.
So yeah, well that's a nice thing to do. But most importantly for Birmingham gets a lot of stick. We're not a romantic port. We're not the capital. And I suppose a lot of people think Manchester's the second city, which really gets me. So things that are great.
All you Manx out there. Stop it.
Things that are great for Birmingham, I'm a great, obviously, believer in, and I want to be an ambassador for that.
Well, that I think you are, and we actually had a lot of messages from people. So those of you who don't know, this is a spin-off of the Balti Triangle video, and a lot of people said what a great job it was highlighting Ladypool Road and this area in a positive manner for such great food.
Yeah.
And actually, I think you've been a big contributor to that, Andy. So that's brilliant. Should we go in the kitchen and see one being made?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. Right then, guys, we're in the kitchen with Zaf, the main man himself. Zaf, we've got a lot of different stuff in front of us here. Talk to me about your incredible dish.
You know what? I've always said, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So let's not talk.
Yeah.
Let's get down to action.
Come on, let's get down to business.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how a proper Birmingham Balti is done. Yeah. From start to finish in under 10 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
But I just want to make you aware, this is not a Balti. Yeah. It's Balti shaped. It's not Balti.
No.
Now, a lot of restaurants up and down the country, probably around the world as well, probably call themselves a Balti. They've got Balti on the menu and they serve it something like this. Looks fantastic, but it's not. It's a fake. Yeah, because they're cooking in a different pan. and they're serving it up in this, and you're not getting the real deal, basically. But you need one of these, yeah. Proper Balti dish, made in Birmingham as well. Yeah.
Real Balti.
So we're helping the local community as well, yeah. So you know, you need one of these. It's cooking there, start to finish, and it's served out of there, served in that as well, and you eat out of that as well. And that's when you appreciate
Just
it.
cooked, served, and eaten in the same bowl.
Keeps all the flavours, all the properties.
You know? So I'm gonna show you how it's done.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So in goes in some veg oil and not ghee. In India, Pakistan, typically you'd use ghee, but they even say it's good for you over there.
Yeah.
But obviously it's a hotter climate there. We're in a colder climate here, and it's just a different story. So veg oil is nice, clean, and light as well. So some onions, tomatoes, green peppers, fresh garlic, and some chopped chili. What you'll find is the onions will become translucent, you know, so it's all gonna sort of flow. And then in goes in some freshly dried chicken. So next goes in some paprika and some turmeric. Stir that up. And you can see the chicken changing colour. The high flames, all they're doing is sort of soaking up the oil, burning off the excess oil in the dish that it doesn't need, and it's sort of making the cooking process quicker as well.
You can actually see the flame whipping around the side of the dish, can't you?
Yeah.
You see it funneling around the side.
That's where the
Actually, it looks like there's a bit of suction going on around the top of it. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Wow.
That's where the flavour comes from as well. Yeah. And in goes in next our base sauce. Balti tornado.
Obviously, I'm not a chef, but that looks like it's got a lot of heat going on there now.
Yeah. We don't need
And that's not burning, no?
It's under control. Yeah. we don't need a fire brigade just yet. But it's normally done like that from start to finish, and the breads are normally in the tandoor as well at the same time, you know, and they're all, you know, gearing up, they're all in action, and the bread and the curry done simultaneously. Yeah.
So aromatic.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just do a bread for you as
Yes.
well. Yeah. But it's just literally a case of sticking your hand in there and saying, yeah, it feels about right, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's got to be right, because if it's not right, there's going to be problems. Now, if we stick the naan bread in, and if it's too cool, if it's not warm enough, yeah, if it hasn't touched 225, then it's not going to cook the back of the naan. It might even stick and it won't come out, sort of thing. And if it's over 250, if it's too hot, for example, then it'll burn the back of the naan and it will just taste bitter.
So if I was saying you can only do family naans, the large famous
Yes,
naans,
you get some tandoors that are made out of clay, and they're sort of dome shaped, if you know what I mean. And you can't really get your hand in. It's not as wide as this, where you can actually get your arm in there and sort of, you know, stick the big naans in, you know, because they're too small.
Literally stick it to the wall, yeah?
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
Well, you've done that before, right?
There we go. And then we just use a bit of water, which acts like a bit of glue, if you know what I mean. Yeah? And then just goes straight in. If there's any excess oil, we just drain that off. And then there we go. And now that is ready. There we go. There we go. There you go.
So Andy, here we have the glorious creation we've just witnessed, the Balti. Shall we
Yeah,
Guess
Matt,
first.
To me, I like to think it's a culinary work of art. Can I taste it? Yeah,
Come on,
okay.
come on. You are Andy. You are the official Balti expert of the world. So, come on, let's have it with the original reviewer.
Well, the chicken, as you'd expect, very tender, but the most important thing is it's got a slight sweet to it. It's got a slight sweetness to it, which is the caramelisation. You can see round the edges where it started to caramelise, and then of course you get that explosion of spices.
That is an explosion in your mouth. It really is.
And it's fresh, real fresh taste.
I've got to admit it, Andy. It's just glorious. We had, I think last time we came, we had the lamb one. Love that. The depth of flavour is unlike anything I've had. I'll encourage you guys to have a traditional Balti. If you haven't, you're wondering what the main differences are between a regular curry and one of these. It's not even comparable. It's not on the same planet.
And of course gone to Birmingham, and of course gone to Shababs.
This is a very famous restaurant we're in at the moment. They've been on TV numerous times, haven't they, for various bits and bobs. But even now, I don't know if you can see that or not, the caramelisation on the outside of that chicken from the sauce, it's rich. It also feels light. It doesn't feel fatty and oily.
Exactly, using veg oil and burning it off as half does, it gives that clean taste. And it tastes of spices clearly.
We better save some for everyone else, but come on, let's try some of this. Light to touch. Do you feel that?
One thing I would say to a Brummy, it's sacrilege to have rice in your Balti. You've got to do a bit of naan dipping. That's the way to eat it.
Dip your naan, people.
Dip me now. Exactly.
You've heard it from the man himself. So Andy, on behalf of myself and everyone watching, I just want to say thank you for bringing us here today, number one, for some amazing food, and thank you for your work in and around the Balti. Fabulous dish, and I think something that Birmingham should be very proud of.
It's a pleasure, Matt. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. God bless. Now everyone, thanks for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this piece of incredible content with the main man himself. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe, that'd be great. And turn the notification bell on so you don't miss another upload. We've got some great content coming like this very, very soon. Just been presented this by Andy. There we go, look at that. Signed by the man himself. Now Andy, where can people buy this book if they want to?
On Amazon now.
Amazon. If you don't know what Amazon is, quite a big website. We can buy things and normally pretty good delivery, and the owner is going to space. Anyway, going for a Balti. Full book of everything you need to know about this wonderful dish. Go and check it out.